Hey guys, Josh Cook here. I had a great month this month in class with everybody. It was nice to hear your voices on the Monday chats. Let's jump right in because there's a lot to cover. So I had a great time this month, and some of the concepts that I learned were going to be key later on. Things like the relationships and trust you have to build with your clients, and in turn that they have to build with their consumers. And then to build on that, you have that design and business, or business plus design, I believe is the way that the videos that we watched this week or this month kind of described it, as far as knowing your client and their business, and speaking kind of in a business term, knowing their needs and how your design is going to meet those needs. And then the last thing is going to be making them distinctive, making yourself distinctive. One way to do that is experiences. For example, you sometimes have to stretch your clients. You have to stretch yourself to find experiences that the client's customer may not really get at first. For example, like the shoe boxes from Chinese Laundry with the Chase group that we watched the videos on earlier in the month. It kind of pushed the client outside the box for their design group, but at the same time, it kind of stretched the consumer as well, because they had a problem and didn't even know they had a problem as far as storing their shoes. So to take something like that particular example, it kind of played all of these out. They built the relationship between designer and company. The company built a relationship with the consumer. Then you play on, like I said, the business and the design relationship, and then leading into really making that company stand out from all the other ones like it. The first one I want to dive into is going to be the education one. This one, I talked with you guys back on Monday, and I appreciate your feedback. It really helps. So I may be toning some of these down or dialing them back because I went real big. I went for the home run here. But I went with 4 different state schools there in Florida. University of West Florida, University of Florida, Florida State, and University of Miami. University of Florida ranked number 1, Miami number 2, Florida State number 3, and University of West Florida was ranked number 4. However, it was ranked like 48 out of 50 when it came down to it. But anyhow, they really have a need, being a smaller college, to get their name out and put their sports program and their academic schools that they have and market those. They're starting something with their sports, but they could kind of use a little something to propel them. But I may dial it back because there are other community college and things that they can compete against more regionally rather than across the whole state. The second one was a fashion design. Again, it was large companies, but I thought about doing a startup company, 30-something or 30. It's a clothing design or a clothing company designed for a 30-year-old demographic that's too old to really shop at Zumiez or PacSun and think, oh yeah, this is where I shop all the time. And they don't really fit in because they're too old, but at the same time, they kind of need their own thing because they're not that young anymore. So the brands that I had for that one were simply RVCA. It was actually a brand of Billabong, which was actually a brand of Hurley, which was actually a brand of Nike now. But anyhow, they were probably the closest in the market, ranked 3rd, obviously. And then you moved to Volcom, which was ranked 2nd, and they were actually kind of a culmination of a bunch of different cultures and styles. So they would be ranked 2nd, and 1st would be Vans. They just had a stronghold, a heritage almost, if you will, in the market since early on with these cultures and things. But I really want to get into this last little bit of the company that I stretched, if you will, in the industrial. Real quick, an industrial, it's not just having to do with a company or a factory, if you will. But I went into the theme park industry, and I thought that Six Flags would be a gold mine to do for this project. The reason for that is they're ranked 4th, but they have the most parks. Disney is ranked number 1, Universal Studios is ranked number 2, and SeaWorld and Busch Gardens would be ranked number 3. Quickly going over all of this, They just had so many different ties. They needed to work on their relationships with their customers, their stockholders. One of them back in 2009, and they wound up doing it, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. There's just an opportunity to rebuild with the consumer and the customer there. And they have a lot of different business ventures that they started spending all this money, and now they got to a point where they ran out, and they have all of these parks, associations with Warner Brothers and DC Comics and all these things, and they just need some organization. I think with that and a brand and a fresh look, they could really bring their stock up, not just literally, but they could be in contention with these big guys. You'll probably hear more from me here pretty soon, next week or in the next class. And I can't wait to see everybody else's, what you guys picked and how the next class goes.